Now the star-belly Sneetchers had bellies with stars. The plain-belly Sneetchers had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big. They were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-belly Sneetchers would brag. We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beach. With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. We'll have nothing to do with the plain belly sort. And whenever they met when they were out walking, they'd saunter straight past them without even talking. When the star-belly children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your bellies had stars, and the plain belly children had none upon theirs. When the star-belly Sneetchers had frankfurter roasts, our picnics or parties or marshmallow toast, they never invited the plain belly Sneetchers. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then one day, it seems, while the plain belly Sneetchers were moping and doping along on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in their strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester Monkey McBean. I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy. But I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed. And my work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly Sylvester Monkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine. He said, "You want stars like a star-belly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside, and the big machine roared, and it clonked and it bonked, and it jerked and it burked, and it bopped them about, but the thing really worked. When the plain belly Sneetchers popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon stars. They yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snotty old smarties, and now we can go to your frankfurter parties." "Good grief," groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneetchers, and they are the worst. But now, how in the world will we know?" They all frowned. "If which kind is what, or the other way round?" Then up came McBean with a very sly wink. He said, "Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who, that's perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetchers on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 eaches." "Bellies on stars are no longer in style," said McBean. "What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like Sneetchers who will have them on theirs. And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Then, with snoots in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks and they let out a shout. We know who is who. Now there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetchers are Sneetchers without. Then, of course, those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you could probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of that day, those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetchers. Off again, on again, in again, out again, through the machine, raced around and around about again, changing their stars every minute. I can't see that. Minute or two. They kept paying money. They kept running through, until neither the plane nor the star belly knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was that one, or what one was who. Then every last cent of their money was spent. The fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They'll never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that Sneetchers got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetchers are Sneetchers, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneetchers forgot about stars, and whether they had one or not upon theirs. That was a good story. The Zacks. One day, making tracks in the prairie of Prax, came a north-going Zacks and a south-going Zacks. And it happened that both of them came to a place where they bumped. There they stood, foot to foot, face to face. "Look there now," the north-going Zacks said. "I say, you're blocking my path. You are right in my way. I'm a north-going Zacks, and I always go north. Get out of my way now, and let me go forth." "Who is in whose way?" snapped the south-going Zacks. "I always go south, making south-going tracks. So you're in my way, and I ask you to move, and let me go south in my south-going groove." Then the north-going Zacks puffed his chest up with pride. "I never," he said, "take a step to one side. And I'll prove to you that I won't change my ways if I have to keep standing there here 59 days. And I'll prove to you, yelled the south-going Zacks, that I can stand here in the prairie of Prax for 59 years, for I live by a rule that I learned as a boy back in a south-going school. Never budge, that is my rule. Never budge in the least. Not an inch to the west, not an inch to the east. I'll stay here not budging, I can and I will. If it makes you and me, the whole world stand still." Well, of course the world didn't stand still. The world grew. In a couple years, the new highway came through. And they built it right over those two stubborn Zacks. and they left them there standing unbudged in their tracks. This is a sick book. Did I ever tell you that Mrs. McCabe had 23 sons and she named them all Dave? This makes things quite difficult as the McCaves, as you can imagine, with so many Daves, and often she wishes that, when they were born, she had named one of them Bodkin Van Horn, and one of them Hoofus, and one of them Snim, and one of them Hotshot, and one Sonny Jim, and one of them Shadrach, and one of them Blinky, and one of them Stuffy, and one of them Stinky. Another one Put-Put, another one Moonface, another one Marvin O'Gravel Balloonface, and one of them Ziggy, and one Soggy Muff, and one Buffalo Bill, and Biffalo Buff, and one of them Sneepy, and one Weepy Weed, and one Paris Garters, and one Harris Tweed, and one of them Sir Michael Carmichael Zut, and one of them Oliver Bolivar Butt, and one of them Zanzibar Buck McFate. But she didn't do it, and now it's too late.